I'm at Catoctin Mountain Park doing a little hiking this afternoon, avoiding the rain that's happening down in Virginia. So this is my first time doing the Catoctin Mountain National Park. I'm going to do several rock overlooks, and then we'll end up over the waterfalls at Cunningham Falls and then loop back. So it should be about 8 miles today, a little after 10 o'clock. So 8 miles, well, maybe 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. Let's be done around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. An hour back to DC gets me back around 5. So we'll see. Nice noisy road here. I'm looking forward to getting off. This is about a mile of this trail that follows the road. And then that gets you to the park headquarters, at which point it's a pretty steep climb up to Chimney Rock, and then from there it's a number of following the ridge line around. Notable sites will be Camp Airy and the various overlooks. Alright, I hate asshole motorcycles. The first sign. So Chimney Rock is now a mile away, a little over a mile away, followed by Wolf Rock. We're going to head up that way. This is where it starts to go uphill. It also departs the road, which I'm quite happy about. So we'll do a little uphill, get away from this road noise, and in about a mile we'll have a nice overlook to look forward to, Chimney Rock. Maybe do a little rock scrambling. So that was a little over a mile between Visitor Center and Park headquarters. So it was a pretty easy hike, a little bit rocky trail. The stupid road's right there, so it's not at all a serene mountain environment, but that's life. It's amazing, as dry as it is, that these little mountain springs are still flowing. It's just trickling out of the mountainside, washing down onto the trail, flowing down into the stream. So even though it hasn't rained in almost 2 weeks, it's still flowing. So while the trail isn't blazed, it's pretty easy to follow, at least right now. Leaves really haven't started falling yet, so might get a little bit more difficult once the leaves are down, but still not too bad. Starting to get into the climbing section, so this isn't too bad. A little rocky, but not too steep. So hopefully this holds up, and continuing to get further away from the road, although it's just echoing through the noise from the road is just echoing through. So haven't escaped it yet, but we're getting up there. The glaciers came through. It was right on the boundary, so unlike other parts that were either always under the glaciers or always not, this particular area had a lot of it was right on the boundary, so all the rocks with the freeze thaw cycle, the water gets into the rock, breaks it up, and you end up with all these just chunks of rock just laying around. So yeah, we're only a couple miles, about maybe 10 miles from the border of Pennsylvania. That section of the Appalachian Trail is often referred to as Rocksylvania, mainly because it's just real rough, not particularly exciting to hike, and kind of brutal on the feet. So this is a lot like that, almost a scree field. Not too bad. The trail's pretty well laid out, but it's definitely not your smooth hiking like you get on a lot of Shenandoah and some of the more southern trails. It's kind of neat when you come across boulders like this where there's just shear lines where the rock, you can see, just shattered as it broke over the many years. A lot of right angles. I'm assuming it has something to do with the geology of the rocks and the way they break. But generally in nature they say not a lot of right angles and smooth surfaces, but this is apparently the exception. I'm assuming it's a combination of old growth and then just this rocky terrain that really keeps the undergrowth to a minimum. It's a pretty wide open forest, not a lot of undergrowth vegetation, a little bit of this mountain laurel, rhododendron, whichever one it is. But it's a It's a pretty open area. You can see pretty far. I thought I heard some turkeys and could see something moving up here at the top of the ridge, but I haven't seen it recently. So hopefully we'll come across some birds while we're up here. It looks like we're near the top of the ridge line. You can see the horizon right there, so there's very little up to go. Overall, wasn't too bad of a climb. A few switchbacks, not a lot of big grade. Kind of the section that we're coming to will probably be part of the steepest parts that I've encountered. So not too bad. All right, so we're at the top. Apparently the climb was 0.6 miles. Chimney Rock should be not too far away off to our left, so we're gonna head down this trail and take a gander. Now that we're up on top of the mountain, nice smooth trail, almost a walk in the park. So, made it to the top. My 1.1 miles to park headquarters. We're now at the Chimney Rock. A nice view over to the valley below. So we're going to do Chimney Rock here in a second, and then we're going to head down to Wolf Rock. Let's see what all the excitement is about. It's supposed to be a fun thing to climb on. Some rock climbing beta on it. Uh-oh, let's see what the danger says. Danger. Deep crevasses. All right, so gotta watch out for the deep crevasses. The rocks were definitely not handicap accessible. Definitely took some climbing if you're going to actually get out on the more exposed areas. I'm in climbing boots instead of, didn't have rock climbing shoes. With shoes and rope or even just some webbing for a safety line, could probably get out on there, get a little higher. So this is the big ass boulder thing. I could easily get up here. You got a nice foothold here, some good grips up here. My concern is I'm alone and I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to get down if I get up on top of it. If I had a rope or some webbing or even something I could kind of rappel my way down, that'd be one thing. Or if I had somebody else here that when I fell and died, they could at least call the funeral home. But being by myself and not seeing a lot of other people out here, I'm not really inclined to try to scramble to the top of this thing just to get a pretty picture. So I will fail as far as climbing this little outcrop. Would have made a pretty picture, but it's not worth dying over. So that's the vantage point. I'd set up the camera just to capture my greatness, but looks like that's going to be a fail. So wave to failure. All right, so that is the big rock that I was too chicken shit to try to climb, but that's okay. Live to climb another day. I'll put it this way, I was confident in my ability to get on top of it. I was not confident in my ability to get back down. And it's rather steep on all around it, so. All right, let's not risk a multi-story fall. We've now seen the deep crevasses. They're 15, 20 feet deep, so I don't know that really qualifies as deep. Maybe by East Coast standards and probably by Maryland standards, but I think most people would not really consider that to be a deep crevasse, but more than you'd want to fall down into. So I've done Chimney Rock. It's now time to move on to Wolf Rock. So 0.4 miles, so maybe 10-minute walk. We'll see. And should stay up kind of along the ridge line for most of the rest of today. Drop down when we get to about mile 6. We'll drop down back down to the valley, down to the road. That's where we'll cross the road to Cunningham Falls, and then just jaunt back to the parks, back to the visitor center. So we'll see. Definitely a lot of rock climbing vertical today. Did a little climbing there on the Chimney Rocks. Definitely gonna climb on the Wolf Rocks, and Cunningham Falls I've done multiple times. So I know that's gonna be kind of a fun climb. Take me back to my days as a little kid. I'm wondering how much smaller it's going to look now, since I haven't really been there a lot as an adult. Most of my memories are when I was much smaller, so everything seemed a lot bigger. It's been really dry in this area for the last couple weeks, so I'm expecting there not to be much water flow on the falls, which A little disappointing from a photography standpoint, but be a little easier to climb on without as much water. Probably halfway between Chimney Rock and Wolf Rock, and a nice little stone ridge line just going along, doing its thing. Nice fin sticking up out of the mountain with a nice smooth trail beside it. Yeah. Kind of a neat geological feature. Maybe I'll go play on it at some point. All right, so my estimation of halfway was a little off since I was standing right there when I made that statement. Apparently this is Wolf Rock, so that was 4/10 of a mile. Once again, we got our danger deep crevasses. This might be 10 feet. We'll see what it holds. So we did Chimney Rock, and we're at Wolf Rock now. We're going to go over to Hog Rock shortly, and then we're going to drop back down in. So still have not come across any deep crevasses, but we'll keep our eyes open. Actually more kind of concerned of some snakes out sunning themselves on these nice rocks. In the cooler weather, they've got to find a nice sunny spot to warm up. These rocks would be a nice place for them. Most of the snakes around here are harmless, but we do have a few that are not fun to be bitten by. And it's never fun to be scared by them, because then I will scream like a little girl and it will be embarrassing. Geology of Wolf Rock. Alright, so they got some education. Alright, so we got all educated. Apparently these were made 200 million years ago. These are the rocks that are a result of uplifting, apparently. Down, when we get down to the stream down by Cunningham Falls, apparently that's more volcanic basalt rocks. So we actually have two different types of rocks we'll encounter today. Ooh, got a nice little area. That would actually be a decent climb. So, much more of a rock climbing area than Chimney Rock. Chimney Rock, probably more bouldering, if that. This actually, you know, be a hike to get up here, but not too bad. Got some easier routes, and could definitely top rope it or lead it. Got some cracks to follow. Wolf Rock has thus far been a little more impressive than Chimney Rock, as far as more to look at. Not as good a view. Just see the trees. Perhaps later in the fall, when when the leaves are off, you'll be able to see further into the valley. Nice little rocks to play on. All right, not something you'd want to fall down into, but nothing too hard to climb. All right. Oh, I got another spire to potentially stand out on. Ooh. Couple big spires. So I don't know if I want to climb on that or not. It also seems a bit exposed. Looks kind of neat. I have to come back here with some rope and play around. Apparently I wasn't filming that whole time. So we've had two of these big, I'm assuming turkey vultures, come in. They were fighting over some food, and now they've calmed down a bit. They're just hanging out on Wolf Rock there. They seem not concerned about me at all. They are big and ugly. Hope they don't take offense to that. So apparently this is one of the deep crevasses. Not real wide, but definitely a little deep. We want to fall down in there. So I may have to take back my mocking of the deep crevasse sign. So I'm leaving the dangerous crevasses and fun rocks at Wolf Rock here behind, and I'm going to head the next point will be 0.9 miles to the park road. Alright, so we came to a fork in the road. That trail takes you kind of back down into the valley. We are going to go the 0.7 miles to the Thermont Vista, kind of continue our arc around. So that's going to be looking kind of northeast, and then there's a South Mountain Vista beyond that, looking kind of north. And then we're over in the Hog Rock area before we drop down into the valley for Cunningham Falls. So this is the Thermont Vista. Not too much elevation between here and the ocean. It's pretty flat. This is the first mountain you would have come to when the settlers were pushing west. So I'll sit on my little park bench and taking the view. Alright, so after the Thermont Vista, it's been a pretty steep downhill on this gravelly stuff. So trail's very smooth, very gravelly, but pretty steep. And steep because I'm going counterclockwise. It's steep in the downhill direction. I don't know if they put this into. It seems like a lot of rock to put in, but I don't know. I don't know what my feelings are on this much trail maintenance, if you want to call it that. I don't know. I guess I like the more traditional, just path in the woods. This seems a bit excessive. I mean, it's almost a road. Not quite wide enough for a car, but I mean, it's definitely not a small trail. All right, we're coming up to a sign. Let's see what that says. All right, so Camp Airy is 0.7. Thermont Vista is 0.2. I'm gonna have to consult a map because it kind of looks like they're blocking that trail off. The map is not incredibly useful since there's no Camp Airy on it, 0.7 miles. I'm gonna take it. We'll see where it goes. When a trail diverges in the wood, take the road less traveled. So we'll see where this one takes us. It's not that big of an area. I'm not really that worried about getting lost. So, it's pretty. Spiderweb. It's pretty open. So, we'll see where it takes me. Worst case scenario, I add a couple miles, but definitely I will hit a park boundary or a road or some other major milestone before I get too far. This definitely is a trail, although it's nowhere near as used or maintained as the other ones. But it's going downhill, so it's been a pretty steep descent, pretty smooth. A lot of leaves I'm walking on, but unfortunately it's one of the situations where every step down is a step I've got to eventually go back up. Nice open woodland area, not much undergrowth at all, not super rocky. Got some nice little formations over here, but not much to see in the way of wildlife or overlooks, etc. Not an unpleasant hike, and definitely feel the isolation because you can see for a fair way into the woods and tell there's nobody around. There is a road over this valley that you can hear the motorcycles going on, so it's not like you're that isolated, but I don't expect many people are hiking this portion of the trail. This appears to be Camp Airy. Hopefully this trail keeps going because I'd hate that to turn around and go all the way back up this hill. We'll see. All right, so we've answered the question that this was not the correct trail to take. Apparently the Camp Airy does not connect to the South Mountain overlook, so I get to hike 0.7 miles uphill to get back onto where I took a wrong turn. Yay me. Well, let me just explain how much I do not look forward to hiking back up this mountain. There are some park boundary signs. Looks like they're only facing this direction, so I certainly didn't see them on the way down. And I'm only a tenth of a mile from the camp, so I still would have gone a good ways before I came across them. But apparently this yellow marks the end of the boundary of the park. But that's why it's important to label the trails on the map, even if they don't belong to you, so that people don't accidentally take them. So I found Mount Airy. Don't know what it is. Looks like a nice little camp in the woods. Friendly people. And now I get to hike back up a mountain. Alright, Mr. Frost. Sometimes when a path diverges in the wood, there's a reason why. There's a less traveled one. Alright, well, it actually turned out to be less bad than I thought it was. I thought it was only maybe halfway back when I came across the nice quasi-paved route here. So, whew, we are back on to the main trail. So for those of you who are going home, Camp Airy is not the way to go. Does not connect to the South Mountain overlook like I wanted it to. So, all right. That was a detour, not one I wanted to take. So, mile and a half down and back. Added it on. It was more the elevation that I just wasn't in the mood for. But I will stop my bitching now and continue on, and hopefully I will find the correct trail. Kind of just trying to decide if I want to just give up and bail now, head back to the visitor center, or if I want to keep going the loop. I'm about halfway on the loop of the 8 miles. I've gone, well, not counting the detour, I've gone about 4 miles. So, okay on time, a little low on water. According to the map, there's a stream near the South Mountain vista. Who knows how much water is running right now. I have purification tablets. If nothing else, when I get down to the valley floor, there's the stream there from Cunningham Falls that will definitely have water. That I can make water there. And I have water in the car. So, still got some with me. Just a function of how far I want to push it. It's probably about a mile and a half if I bail and go back to the visitor center, or it's about 4 miles if I continue on the loop. Here's the sign that I was looking for. I just didn't walk far enough. So Hog Rock is a mile and a half, not too bad. Visitor center is about a mile, and Thermont Vista parking's just a tenth of a mile. So we're gonna do the Hog Rock. I'm gonna suck it up. So it is 2 o'clock now. I'm guessing it'll take me about 3 hours to do these last 4 miles. So that'll put me at about 10 for the day. It puts me back at the car at 5. Hour to DC is at 6. I'll be home in time for dinner. Darkness is not until 7, so I still got 2 hours. I'm planning to be done 2 hours before darkness. I have flashlights and all that if necessary, but I have some warm clothing, but not enough. Certainly not enough to really be comfortable through the night. So from an emergency standpoint, I would use my lamps and lights to get off the mountain. There's plenty of roads around here. Nothing's really more than a mile away, so I'm not really that worried about getting stranded out here or something. I mean, unless I got really injured, I should be okay. And right there's the road, so it's never too far away from civilization. All right, let me turn this off and get some miles done. Made it to a junction. Looks like this is Blue Ridge Summit Overlook. Don't know if there's much to overlook today in the way of trees and leaves, etc. being in the way. Good news is I'm at the top. 15, 20 feet. So went down a little bit and then came back up, and didn't have as much gas in the tank as I thought I did, so that last bit of up was taking it out of me more than I was expecting. But we're up here now, which means from here on out it's going to be either flat or downhill. So whew, feels good. Catch my breath a little bit, and then we're going to head down to Hog Rock. So it looks as if the trail from Blue Ridge Summit Overlook down to I'm assuming the Central Road is this nice wide gravelly smooth trail, so pretty well prepared. A little steep, not too bad. We'll see. Definitely between Thermont Vista and here, it was not like this. It was definitely the single track, pretty rocky. Guess that section doesn't get nearly as much use. But this is definitely the wide, easy, much more used section. Imagine a lot of people just park on the road and do the short hikes to the various overlooks. Oh, we hit the parking area. There's a restroom if we need that. So coming on out into civilization. I guess if you wanted to do a quicker part of the hike, you could just start here. Alright, so we've done the Chimney Rock was 2.9 miles, so put some miles in. I'm going to take the Hog Rock Nature Trail. So this is going to take us to the Hog Rock. So up that road is Camp David, even though it really doesn't appear on the maps anywhere. Hog Rock Vista is straight ahead. This is the little nature trail loop that heads off that way. So I don't feel like taking the extra miles, or the extra steps. So we're going to head just to the Hog Rock Vista. We'll see what we can see. Cunningham Falls straight ahead, and the little nature trail loop to the right, which we're not going to take. Oh, that's not a bad vista after all. So we're looking east. Out over the. So imagine earlier in the day we were up on that ridge line. I'd have to check the map, but should be looks to be about where we were earlier days. We kind of looped around. Not a bad hike for the day. So that would have been 4-ish miles away. Kind of neat when you get to put it in perspective. Forgot to mention that the overlook there was the peak of our journey at 1,600 feet. From here on out, it's all downhill, and according to the maps, kind of steep downhill. So I'm looking forward to not having any more elevation gain. So it's 3:30. Made really good time on the nice smooth downhill portion. Cunningham Falls is 0.2 miles. The visitor center is 1.5, little, not quite 1.5. So we'll call it out and back to Cunningham Falls by about 1/2 mile. So looking at maybe 2 miles total from here. So less than 2 hours easily. And it's definitely been a while since I've been here. Probably 2000. So it might have been as long as 15 years ago since I've been to Cunningham Falls. A lot of this is new. I do not remember this boardwalk trail at all. I remember a couple of bridges, but certainly not this boardwalk to the extent that they have it. Water over there looks really low. Not sure how much this trail has changed since my days back in the early 90s, but certainly not anything I remember. First view of the falls, and sounds like there's some locals on it enjoying it. All right, breaking the law. So to answer the earlier question, it is much smaller than I remember. Totally remember jumping into this little pool here at the bottom. I remember that being a much steeper, more dangerous climb. So we'll see. I just remember getting to the top of this used to be just this terrifying mountaineering endeavor. But you know, when you're in elementary school, and the world's a lot bigger. So we'll climb this. These rocks are so smooth from thousands of people climbing on them. I probably need both hands. I'm gonna put the camera away. In the middle of the falls, nice little cascade. Those pools are deceptively deep, where the water has carved them out. Well over my head back in the day. So probably 4, 5, 6 feet maybe. I don't know. Deep and cold. All these pockets carved out over time. View from the midpoint. Nice little cascading falls. The water is definitely a little low right now. When I was a kid, you could slide down this little part and catch yourself here before you went over this last little dip. Slip and slide portion of the show. A little rough, but not too bad. When you're a kid, I don't know, rocks are a little, I don't know if the rocks were softer or I was just more rubber. It looks like it would hurt a lot now. View from the top of the fall. A little smaller than I remember, but still pretty. I'm gonna call it a day from the top of Cunningham Falls. Got about a mile and a half hike back to the visitor center. Not expecting it to be very eventful or photogenic, so probably call this the end of the video. It's been a good day. Clouds are rolling in, so we're starting to get that rain that I avoided by coming north. Hopefully I'll stay dry as I make it back to the car and then drive back to DC. So, signing off from Catoctin Mountain. It's been fun.